Hey, can you tell me a little bit about how you started Silent Sports, when you started it, a little history of it?
Sure can, Todd. It brings a smile to my face when I think back about how it did start. It started quite quietly with a little memo from the people at RAGBRAI about problems that they were having getting insurance coverage. I had volunteered to serve on their ride-right committee, and they said, we may be ending RAGBRAI because the inability to find insurance for the overnight downs. And so I went to work. Jim Green was the director then, and went to work and found coverage for them and put a program together at that time for RAGBRAI, and really got the cooperation not only of the Iowa State Patrol, but also of the communities and the towns that were affected by that. And so that program grew over the years. Then in 1988, I was asked to speak in front of the National Bicycle Tour Directors Association. It's an association of multi-day bicycle rides. Talk to them about risk management, about insurance coverages and the needs for insurance coverage. I think it opened quite a few eyes because that was on a Sunday. On Monday, I came into the office. I had 8 phone calls waiting for me. I had 4 to return, and I had just a very busy day on Monday. And that started the Silent Sports program. Visited with one of our premier companies, and they agreed to provide the program, and I guess the rest is history.
That's great. So we've got over 30 years plus of insuring these types of events.
Right. And I think the big thing here was what we brought to this program, and what made it so successful, I think, over the years, Todd, is that we made it simple. We knew we were dealing in most cases with volunteers, people that had many other duties that they had to take care of. And by simplifying the activity or the ability to get insurance coverage is really what made the program work, and to provide quality coverage and a quality claim service over those years.
That's great. How many years have you ridden RAGBRAI?
This past year was my 42nd, and unfortunately, I think it's going to be my last because it pretty well beat me up.
It was a warm one.
A very warm one, yes, it was. So.
And you do a lot of other bicycle rides and such as well.
My wife and I ride a tandem bicycle, and I'll get a plug in right now for the Midwest Tandem Rally. It's going to be in Ankeny, Iowa this year, so we'd like to invite all tandem riders to come out, or spectators just to come out and see 400 tandem bicycles take off on a bicycle ride.
So how have you seen this program, these events evolve over your history of working in them?
It's interesting too, Todd, because I think right after we started what I called the baby Silent Sports program, I went to Chicago, to the Chicago Area Bicycle Dealers Association annual show, and set a booth up. And that's a 4-day show, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And on Thursday, I had exactly one person stop by the booth. And the question to me was, what's an insurance guy doing at a bicycle show? I said, well, I'm just trying to get the message out there that there's other markets, or that there are markets for people to get insurance coverage. And then I went back that night, and I kind of thought, well, this may not have been a real good idea. I spent $500 and got a booth and drove over here to Chicago, and only one person stopped by. See what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow brought a few more people, and then Saturday and Sunday, I wish I could have had about 10 other people at my booth to visit with the people that stopped by. Somehow word started getting around that people need to come and talk to me. And from that show, we were able to write coverage for many bicycle clubs, bicycle rides, and events throughout the Midwest, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota. It was quite a big jump start to the program. So it actually started fairly fast, and it was a lot of work and a lot of late night hours. My kids still talk about the days of sitting at home folding brochures for their dad. So that's really where it got to start. And now today, and with the advent of technology, of the internet, and which we actually had some of that even clear back then. We were kind of early adopters of the computer and the internet program. We were fortunate to have fiber optics in the city of Knoxville, and provided us that opportunity to get out not only to the local market, but to the whole United States. And that started the process then of licensing in other states, getting that whole program built up. And then today, where you are, I just marvel at how how you've been able to hold the program together through thick and thin with the COVID interruptions and everything that's been going on, and to continue that fine reputation of being a quality program, and that really has the insured's interest at heart.
Yeah, we've got a great team working on it and trying to continue on the legacy that you started. I think we're around 40 states now of insuring events, so we got most of them.
Got most of them. It's and then again, that's the beauty of this whole program, is that it is something that is it's nationwide. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's trying to copy the RAGBRAI mystique, if you will, and it's been fun to watch the growth of other states and other programs that have been offshoots, if you will, of the RAGBRAI model. And then it's also fun to see sports that we were able to insure that nobody else was able to insure. For instance, mountain bike racing. No one would insure it. No one would insure it. And we stepped in and we were able to design a program and took care of that. Here we are insuring people going down a mountain on a bicycle with a little helmet on, going 60 miles an hour. It turned out to be a very good program. It worked, and because of that, it was we were known to be the experts, if you will, in the bicycle world.
So Dan, when Jim Green came to you many years ago, love Greenie, by the way,
yeah.
When he came to you and said, "Hey, we need some help with RAGBRAI," like, what were they looking for, and what's that evolved from what they were looking for then to what they're looking for now?
I think, Todd, what they were really looking for back then was risk management. They were looking for someone to come in and manage the risk of this great bicycle, okay, very large bicycle ride. And John Kearse said it best. He said the ride's like someone trying to herd cats. You just don't control it. You just kind of direct it and hope it gets to where it needs to go. And so what we did was we created this program called Ride Right. And Ride Right is a risk management program for bicycle rides and events. Not only bicycle rides, but all events. It's common sense things that you can do to make your events safer and more palatable to the public, and so that everybody's having fun. Nobody wants a claim. And if we can avoid the claim, all the better. And this Ride Right program was developed to do that. And that's part of the things that I kept that, and when we developed it for RAGBRAI, I kept that also for our program, so that we could have a risk management program, very encapsulated, very easy to implement, and be used by these different events. Not only bicycle rides, again, but other events.
And then beyond just like the risk management piece, were they looking for anything else then? I know we do a lot of other stuff now.
Sure. The big question there was the dram shop insurance coverage. The dram shop was written kind of on a helter-skelter basis. Some towns had very low limits of liability, and not realizing the exposure and risk that they had. Some towns didn't even carry it. This, remember, back in the 80s. And then the Alcoholic Beverage Division and the state of Iowa stepped in and said, if you're going to serve alcoholic beverages, they come up with, it's just a donation. Well, if you're serving alcoholic beverages, you got to have a license. And so then the insurance carriers said, okay, so we're going to have a party of 5,000 people on the town square, and you're going to be serving alcoholic beverages to them in the evening. And what they didn't understand was that these 5,000 people had to get up the next morning and ride their bicycles 60 to 80 miles. So they're not going to stay out there until 2 in the morning. And the big problem was that they were staying open till 2 a.m., which their license legally allowed them to do. But one of our programs, and when we negotiated the program for the dram shop insurance coverage, was to close the beverage gardens by 11 o'clock at night. Because, as my mother always said, nothing good ever happens after midnight. So,
pretty accurate.
Yes, pretty accurate. And once we did that, the program became self-managing, and the Highway Patrol has complimented us on that many times about how it's worked, and it's something that I'm very proud of being able to have provided to rides all over the country.
Yeah, that's great. Quick story that I think I've told you before, but years ago I was and I know we're not insuring pedicabs at this time, but years ago I was in New York City and I was taking a pedicab through Central Park, and I got to talking to the guy, and I said, do you own this? And he said, yeah. I said, where do you buy your insurance? He said, well, McKay Insurance in Knoxville, Iowa.
I've had similar things that happen to me too. I've been on bicycle rides. Wife and I've been on bicycle rides, and our tandem's fairly noticeable. People know who we are by our tandem, and I have people come up behind us and say, "Hey, it's the insurance guy." So that's wherever we ride, we seem to get that moniker.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I think you built a great program, and you've done a great job with it, and we want to just continue to carry on that legacy. So we hope to continue to make you proud in what we're doing.
Well, and I hope you will always remember the most important thing is to have fun with this and to make sure that people are out there having fun on their bicycles and whatever events they plan to partake in.
For sure.